Hello, my name's Janine Stillman. I'm a glass artist from the Central Coast of California, where I have a glass teaching studio designed by JA9. I'm here today in Sparks, Nevada at H&H Glass Studio, a Bullseye Resource Center, to present to you the Cress GK Kiln. This kiln, with the unique bottom dropping feature, will allow the beginning glass hobbyist to evolve into an advanced glass artist with ease. Your GK kiln will come with an instruction manual that will describe all of the features of the kiln. It will come with a ceramic kiln shelf upon which you will be fusing your glass. It will also come with a sample of shelf primer that you will use to coat your shelf so that the glass will not stick to that shelf, and a vent hole plug. I'm now going to explain the features of the Cress GK kiln. When you get your kiln home, you're going to want to find the perfect place to position it. We've set this kiln on a heat-proof surface, in this case it's cement board, and you also want to be sure that the kiln is at least 18 inches from any combustible surface. You are going to be opening this kiln when it's hot, and the heat that escapes could potentially damage anything in its way. The kiln comes with a household 110 plug, which preferably should be plugged directly into the outlet in your studio. But if you don't have a plug nearby, a heavy-duty 12-gauge extension cord is optimal for these kilns. Please don't try to put this on just your household extension cord. You want a heavy-duty cord. So we're going to go ahead, plug the kiln in, and fire the baby up. The GK currently comes with a removable lid. Simple to lift and remove. You can load the GK kiln from the top as you would any other 8-inch kiln used for jewelry or small glass fusing projects. If you remove the lid when it is hot, be sure to protect your hands with leather gloves and be sure that the hot lid is placed on a heat-proof surface to prevent any damage. As an added safety feature, in April of 2019, the GK will come equipped with a hinged lid, similar to a traditional top-loading kiln. What makes the GK kiln so unique is the bottom dropping feature. The floor of the kiln actually lowers out of the heating chamber for easy access to your glass for manipulation at high temperatures. The heat remains in the chamber in the top so that when you return the glass to the heating chamber, it will reheat much more quickly. For ease of operation, the GK kiln comes equipped with the Bartlett 3-key digital controller. I'm now going to demonstrate to you how to enter a simple glass firing schedule. First thing we do is power on the kiln, and it will enter its idle mode, where it will tell you that it is idle, and it will tell you the temperature inside the chamber of the kiln. We press the enter key, and it's going to show us the user number under which we're going to store this schedule. There are 4 user numbers in this controller. We're going to select user 1, and we're going to tell it how many segments will be in this firing schedule. We're going to have 4 segments to our schedule. So I'm going to push the up key and enter 4 segments. It will now ask us for the first ramp rate. By pushing the up key and holding it in, you will see that the controller swiftly goes through the numbers progressively faster and faster, tens, hundreds, and thousands. So when you reach the approximate number for your rate, you stop. Let the controller pause, and then you can press the down key to get closer to your desired temperature. Now we pause again and very slowly reach our ramp rate, which is 300 degrees. Enter. We'll now tell it our target temperature. Our target temperature is 1,000 degrees. So by holding the up key, again, the controller will go through the tens, hundreds, and up to thousands where we will stop. If you start quickly hitting that key, it will keep in the hundreds area. So again, methodically to 1,000 degrees. Hit the enter key. We're now going to enter the hold time that we want it to hold. In this case, 10 minutes. So we will, that was lucky, hit the 10-minute mark and enter. This is now our second ramp rate for our second segment of this schedule. We want this to go as fast as possible, which it happened to land on as fast as possible. So we're going to hit enter. And we want it to hit the target temperature of 1400 degrees. Pushing the key again, getting close to that temperature. If you pause, the controller will slow down to allow you to increase the temperature by just a degree. Enter. Anything to the left of the decimal point indicates hours. Anything to the right indicates minutes. We want to get just to 5 minutes. So it's in the tens mode now, so I have to pause to allow it to get back to the single digit. 10 minutes. Enter. Again, the next segment will be as fast as possible. We're going to select that. And this target temperature will be 950 degrees. So we want to increase that temperature up to 50 degrees. You can go through slowly to get the temperature there so that you don't overshoot your mark. Enter. The hold time for this segment is going to be an hour. When it's in the tens mode, you can jump it up by 10 degrees at a time, 10 minutes at a time. Enter. This is our fourth ramp rate. This is our final segment. 100 degrees an hour. See, if you push it too fast, it will jump quickly on you. We're going to the target temperature of 500 degrees. Pause so that it goes into the single digit mode and enter. And for this last segment, we're going to allow the kiln just to shut off and cool to room temperature. So the hold time will be reduced down to 0, which means it will just advance to turn off. Now your kiln is ready to fire. I'm now going to show you the accessory kit that is available for an additional charge that you will use with the GK kiln. In that kit, you will receive a stainless steel square and ring that is appropriately sized for your kiln. You'll receive the pot melt rack, which will be used to create pot melts. You will receive the vitrograph kit, which is used in conjunction with this fiber bottom that is installed under the heating chamber of the kiln with these metal rods and cotter pins. One of my favorite things to do in the GK kiln is to comb glass. So I have prepared this glass strip set that I've installed in the metal square that you receive in the accessory kit. I've placed it on top of the shelf that comes with the kiln, and I have put it on top of a piece of 1/8" fiber and a piece of papyrus paper to get the best possible back that I can on this piece. To load this into the kiln, there are a couple of options. Lower the floor of the kiln and install the entire unit, shelf and all, into the kiln. The scribe mark, or the mark on the bottom of the kiln, is the chamber size. So be sure to stay within that mark so you're not hitting the bricks when you put the bottom of the kiln up. Alternatively, you can slide your piece off of the shelf Because the fiber bottom is supporting it, it's stable enough to do so. That way, if you inadvertently move that square, you're not going to move it off of the shelf and dump the glass into your kiln. So this is my preferred way to install it into the kiln. Then you simply lift it up, close it up, and start your kiln. When the kiln reaches combing temperatures, you're going to want to be sure to protect yourself. You want to protect your hands with leather gloves and your eyes with UV and IR filtering glasses. The beauty of this is all you need. If I were combing in a regular top opening kiln, you would need to have a face mask, gloves, protect yourself with a welding jacket, but the heat stays all in the top chamber of this kiln. So when it's hot and you lower the shelf, you can simply go in, manipulate your glass with just the use of leather gloves and your eye protection. Okay, I am now going to introduce you to the Vitrograph kit that comes in the optional accessory kit for the GK1 kiln. This consists of the vessel. This is where we're going to place our glass. It has a hole in the bottom so that the glass can come out of the bottom. This is to replace the terracotta pot that is typically used in Vitrograph or Marini creation. I have cut a piece of 1/8" fiber, the size of my base plate, and I have cut a hole in it the same size as the opening of the Vitrograph plate here. I've also marked my fiber so that I know that my vessel is centered on this when I place it onto the base plate. This fiber acts as a gasket to seal this vessel onto the base plate. So I'm now going to take my glass, which I've cut into squares, which is a lot easier than cutting the traditional circles that you have to put in the terracotta pot, and I'm going to put them into my vessel. Now, some people do use the boron nitride spray on the inside of this vessel, but I have found that you can simply break whatever glass is remaining in this vessel out either by quenching it when it's hot or by just hitting it with a hammer when it's cold. To prepare the kiln for this process, I want to remove this handle. And what that will do is it will allow me 6 inches more of accessibility to the chamber where the Vitrograph is going to be coming out. So I want to latch the kiln like so and remove the bolts that hold the handle onto the kiln here, like so. So I have removed the handle, and now what that will do is it will allow us to drop this shelf all the way to the bottom and gives us about 6 inches more of accessibility to our work. Once I have my vessel filled with glass, I then want to secure this chamber onto the base plate because I need to lower this in from the top. So I'm just going to take some Scotch tape and I'm going to prop my vessel up on something. Frit jar works nicely. And secure these two pieces together with Scotch tape. The Scotch tape will burn off in the kiln and there will be no trace left of it once you're done. Okay, now that I have my vessel ready to be loaded into the kiln, I need to set up this chamber for the Vitrograph process. Here is my fiber board that will be placed underneath the heating chamber so that I can place this vessel on it. You'll notice that it has a flat side and it has a beveled side. The beveled side goes down. So I will use these rods to slide into the holes in the leg of the kiln. I will then secure them with these cotter pins. And then install the board bevel side down under the chamber of the kiln. I'll now take out my vitrograph hot melt that was in here before. And now I'm ready to install my taped kit into the chamber on top of that fiber. Put the lid back on and check to be sure that the hole of that metal base plate is indeed lined up with the hole in the fiber. This allows you to pull your vitrograph or your Marini with ease. You will not have any issues with the heat because this fiber board keeps all the heat in the chamber, and you can then start your program for your Marini or vitrograph. Thoroughly enjoyed sharing the features of the Cress GK kiln with you today. I know that you're going to have so much fun using this kiln, advancing your glass fusing skills to new heights, and please share those with us. We would love to see what you're doing with this amazing machine.